Welcome to Toy Hill Studio. My name is Kendall Kessler. Please like and subscribe. I put up painting demos and studio tours. Also, please check out my intro video. In 2 minutes, you can find out all about me, where I've been, where I'm going, what my goals are. Last time, I decided to do another heart painting and to use the watercolor wet and wet technique, something that, even though I have training in watercolors, I'm not a watercolorist, I am an oil painter, so it didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it to. I think it turned out okay. It's all nice. I've got some nice compliments. But I used some good watercolor paper, and in the past at Radford University, I would demonstrate watercolors, and I usually would use not so good paper. Strathmore drawing paper, high quality drawing paper, but not actual watercolor paper. And I usually did better for some reason. Was able to get it to bleed better and get more what I wanted. So I thought I'd do another Kendall Kendall letter. I have a number of these, but not the whole alphabet. There's a whole lot more I can do. So I'm going to use the wet and wet technique again, watercolors, and see what I can do with this really, really wild looking R. And I'm going to work in small areas. As always, I have ideas of what I'm going to do, and then I change my mind, and then I never know. But I love to experiment on YouTube. I was going to practice first. I thought, nah, I don't want to. I'm too busy. So I'm going to see what happens. See if I can get better bleeding and get a more interesting effect and more complicated effect. Because as I've said many times, I just don't like paintings that aren't real complicated. I like the difference between songs that have a few notes, which can be really great, and Chopin Nocturne or something, or Mazurka. I prefer really complicated art. That's just the way I am. Yesterday in church, I played, what is it, Imagination? I think that's the name of it. A real beautiful song from, oh boy, am I tired. Well, you probably know what it is. Oh, Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory, whatever it was. Anyway, it sounded really nice, and I was real pleased that I played it that well. And something like that can be really great. But I liked it, and I got compliments on it, and that was great. But still not my favorite type of music. I was working on a Chopin Nocturne. It's really hard. And I don't know if I ever get it right. But that's what I prefer. Well, I'm not doing better. Oh well. It's bleeding a little more, but not much. I think I did better with the watercolor paper. Oh well, nothing else I'm doing today, so this is what it's going to be. I might go back into it a lot and do some other things. It's just not working the way I've been able to do it more in the past. It's just kind of moving around, but it's not really just really spreading the way I used to do that when I taught at the university. Anyway, back to church yesterday. Something happened that hasn't happened but once before, and it was embarrassing. I had the wrong hymn for the last one. So I'm starting to play it, and they're like, what? That's not what we're supposed to be singing. And the pastor came over and pointed out the one that I was supposed to be doing, and it was a really, really hard one. I wasn't going to be able to do that without a little bit of practice. So we had to sing it a cappella. I've only done that once before. The pastor sends the hymns to me by email. She sends the number and the title. And I always write down both, and I'm always very careful to check both when I start practicing. Well, she sent the wrong number this time, but the right title. And I forgot. I forgot to check. I know I did on the others, but of course this one I didn't. So, that was embarrassing, but, things happen. I think I will be doubly sure to double check from now on and not let that happen again. But, people are very forgiving. And everybody sang very well a cappella, I thought. I got to sing, because I can't sing and play at the same time. I am I would say, between late beginner and early advanced pianist, but I can't really sing and play at the same time. And I'm not at all happy with how this is coming out, because I was hoping it would bleed a whole lot more, really move through the paper. Of course, as I said, with this technique, it's going to just keep moving until it's done, so you don't really know, but I don't see it's turning into a whole lot. Oh. Well, maybe I'll just start putting more paint on, see if I can get something a little more interesting to my way of thinking. And if it builds up, it builds up, and that'll be fine. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm just going to build up the paint, get something that I think changes more and is more interesting. I have to go back in because I'm putting on so much now that I'm losing the R. It's really a wacko R, isn't it? I like doing this, as I've said, it's certainly something anybody can do. Just take a letter and make it fancy, and we can all do it in a different way. Oh, raining outside. The rain woke me up last night, which can be kind of irritating then, but otherwise I don't mind rainy days. A lot of people don't like them. I don't mind them, and I really love the sound of the rain. There are a lot of YouTubes, probably noticed this, where people have put up that sound with pretty photography or pretty setting, and they're very nice. Yeah, it's getting a lot better for me. Not a watercolorist. Have to work at that a whole lot to be more happy, to be happier with these. Now this is a lot more interesting to me. The color's changing more, but yeah, I'm going to go back in a little bit. Or maybe I can fix that now because I'm so busy today. Well, I might just go back in and fix it. Anyway, rainy days. What was that song, Karen Carpenter? Rainy days and Mondays get me down. Not me. All days are pretty much the same to me. Just so much to do all the time. And it's always hard to get things done, and I can't believe how fast time goes. But I'm sure I'm not the only one that says that. Yeah, I just prefer to build up the paint. It's starting to get a lot more interesting to me. I really like what I did with R. I mean, it's really a really strange looking R, I know, but I really like what I did. I think it's a very interesting, my own kind of take on topography. I'm not a graphic artist, so it's just really playing for me. It wouldn't be for a graphic artist. Very hard field to go into. Very extremely competitive. No, it's something I wanted to do. I remember hearing a lot of teachers that started out in graphic arts. And they thought, well, I'll do that by a day and then paint and do what I really want to do at night. Well, they said, all of them said, you're too tired. You work all day. You don't want to come home and paint at night. And I always thought, well, if I taught, I could at least do my own thing too, and that worked out really well for me. And now I'm selling my stuff and actually making money at it. Not a tremendous amount, but I am making money at it and paying taxes and all that. And hope for that to get better and better. It's very important for me to get my artwork out into the world, and I'm in 32 states and 7 countries. I want to keep that up. I need a smaller brush to work with this. Yeah, I want to try to do more with the curlicue area, but I don't want to lose what I've got with the lines. I don't want to spend a lot of time going back into this. I'm pleased that I'm using purple. Usually, I don't know why, for some reason, I never can get the purple to do much. But it's working good with this one. It always just looks kind of dead looking. It's something a term that a lot of artists use. That the color is kind of dead, but it's working really well. And that's nice. always like to just experiment on YouTube, as I say all the time. It's a real fun experience, and it's quite a difficult experience. Sitting here talking and trying to come up with something that I really like at the same time is really tricky. So it's a real interesting exercise for me. And as I always say, sometimes I go back into it because I'm really not that happy with it. Other times I don't. What I end up with after like 15 minutes or so is fine with me. Not like my oil paintings that take forever. I'm still waiting for a wildflower painting, the second stage, to dry, so I can, no, third stage, third layer. Yeah, third layer to dry, and then I'm going to just work in areas and finish it up and add it to my portfolio. And that's it. I'm going to start doing something else. I want to do some stuff from the lake. I know I said that a while back, but it takes a long time for these paintings to dry. We moved, and I've noticed in this studio, it takes even longer. Not sure why, but our new home, my oil paintings are taking even longer to dry. They dried much faster in our other house, which is kind of strange. Because, I don't know, I hope we didn't have a lot of mold and stuff, but I would think that that house would, that this house would be drier, and it's not. Yeah, getting a lot more interesting to me. I just like a lot going on. Yes, it's an R, but it's not painting. I'm not real concerned. Probably some people look at this and say, where's the R? Because it's so weird looking. But to me, it's always just how it looks as artwork. And as I've said many times, you can't explain that to anybody. If you took it up, you would understand. I'm sure there's some painters out there that understand exactly what I'm talking about. The arrangement, the colors, the textures, how that looks, regardless of what it looks like. 12 minutes. I think I'm going to quit pretty soon, and maybe I'll do a little bit off camera. Oh, that's nice. I really like vibrant reds. So I'm not going to do any more of the wet and wet. Obviously, I am either very out of practice or it's just not working for me. So I'm going to go back to building up the paintings on YouTube with complicated systems of color and textures and lines and all that stuff. Just bleeding that in, just, you know, the patches just wasn't interesting enough. You know, some lines going here now to kind of echo what I've got in the R. And make sure I can keep it from disappearing. I do still want to see the R. And it's starting to kind of get lost. So I'll get more contrast going. Well, I think I might just quit right there and get a much smaller brush, and I'll just kind of do a few more things on camera. But I think basically this is what I'm going to have. I'm going to reestablish the R a little better and maybe add a little more fancy areas, a little more contrast lines and colors and textures. So thank you so much for watching. Link to the painting will be at the top of the description. Link to my Etsy site, my Wix website. Please check there. I am blogging every single day.